Hello, I'm Seth with Land House. The back side of my shop has an eave that comes out about a foot, but it's not quite enough to prevent water from hitting the edges of my door whenever it rains with a little bit of wind in here. So in today's video, I'm going to be making a little awning to cover the door here. So let's go ahead and get started. It's about 26 degrees out, so it's cold, but the show must go on. Okay, check this out. Here's the plan. The door frame is right here. I'm going to mount a board on top of that. I should have enough for 6 screws in there. From this, I'm going to build a box out, kind of like that. And it's going to have a front board there. And then I'll be able to have these triangular pieces come down to support the box. And then from here, I'm going to have a little block that comes up on the front and back boards. And then a board will connect those two up top. And then on top of that will be my roof, I guess, support there. So it's going to make a little A-frame kind of shape here for the metal roofing to go on. To make my lower box, I need 2 boards cut at 44 inches and 3 cut at 32.5. So go ahead and mark out my first 44. And then I need 3 at 32.5. I know these numbers are going to be project specific, so whatever you need for your awning, just cut those numbers. This board here is going to be up against the building, and so to start the box build, I'm just going to put one of these 32.5-inch boards along here and get this screwed into place with some 3.5-inch screws. I've got the 44-inch piece down here with the 2 32.5-inch pieces going up. And to attach this to the building, I have got these big old lag screws, and I want to come out 2.5 inches from this piece so that I can hit the studs. I've got the double stud alongside my door going all the way up, and that's where I'm going to be installing these. And then I'm going to use a number of just 3.5-inch screws to make sure this is firmly attached to the building. But with these big lag screws, I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill a hole because I'm afraid that thing would split the wood pretty good. These big bolts use a T40. That thing is nice and big. Thought I'd just get it started here. This might be a little bit tricky working by myself, but we'll see what we can do here. The majority of my shop has been built by myself, so we'll just see what we can do. Just trying to even this thing out a bit. And I'm actually going to go up just a touch so I can level it here. Ouch. Wasn't anticipating how hard it is to get through the hardy board. I got one screw in there good enough to hold it up while I get this thing leveled out. Okay, now I'm going to get this last board installed here to finish up the box. Now I'm going to need some support from this wall up to this middle point here. So I'm going to cut a 32-inch board and put a 45-degree on it, and that's going to allow me to add a support here. Okay, I've got my level here. I was noticing that the front side is a little off, which means I'll have to lift up on this over here. So I just want to match this up right here. I think what I'm going to do is attach it to the building first, and then I'll just lift up as needed here on the other board. So for the front and back supports, I need 6-inch blocks. So I'm going to cut this 12-inch in half. So this will be front and back, and this board is going to be sitting on top of these, kind of like this. And so to get this installed, I'm going to just do a little pre-drill here to kind of toenail into this block. I also need to be able to attach this to the bottom, so I'm gonna do the same thing, just a real quick pre-drill. And that way I can go ahead and get some screws in here to hold this to the rest of the frame. Made a little mistake here. I actually want to turn these blocks over and install this piece directly like this. So let's get that done real quick. I found some scrap boards that were 28 inches long, and I just held one up and found the angle I need. So I'm not exactly sure what this is as far as angles go. Somewhere around the 6 degrees, I'm thinking. So I've just set my saw to that angle, and I'm going through and cutting each of these to have that angle. This angle that is cut is going to allow me to attach this to the top and maintain that slope that is required for the roof here. It's finally warmed up above freezing out here. Sure is nice. So to get these boards installed, I am just placing them here against the wall first. And on this one, I'm able to just screw directly into the building pretty quick here. And on the others, I am actually screwing in from the back of the top board to get it installed. So just placing this over here, lining it up. And then I'm just going to wrap that one up with toenailing from the side, like this right here. Taking a quick step back here, this is what's been accomplished with all of the wood portion. I think it's turned out really well. It'll easily hold 100 pounds, so I'm not too worried about any kind of snow load. So the next step is to cut the metal and get that installed, and we will be finished. I've got a couple pieces of scrap metal that I'm going to be cutting to 32 inches. That seems to be today's number. So I'm going to be using the angle grinder to cut this. And this top edge is going to be up under the ridge cap, so it doesn't have to be super perfect. Now, of course, if you were doing something like this for your shop, you might want to take more time and do things a bit more perfect than I do. There we go. I can just cut straight across there. with the angle grinder. Whenever I work with the angle grinder, especially with cutting metal, I will wear safety glasses, earplugs, and this mask that I got from Amazon. Just because the angle grinder will kick up a whole lot of junk that you don't want in your face. I also have this piece of ridge cap, which I'm going to cut a little bit longer here. So my metal piece is 39 inch, so I'm going to go with 43 here. And the door awning is complete. So everything I used in this project was recycled from around the house here. So the green ridge cap there may not be the most attractive, but it certainly is free. But anyway, I think it's going to be plenty strong enough for the snow we have around here. And so it comes out at 39 inches to keep water off the door. And then as far as side to side, it's going to be somewhere around the 60 inch. So definitely covers enough to keep the water out. Now a real strong blowing rain might still reach the edge of the shop here, but before what was happening is a lot of water was pooling up right here and making its way underneath the door. But with this, I think it's going to be much improved. I may have to come back and put a little block right in here because you can see it's off by 1.5 inches or so from this side. And so it may just need to have a little extra on that metal piece, but all in all, I'm pleased with this. I hope you found this awning build helpful. Remember, this is just my workshop and I just needed to cover the door. So if you're building this for your house, definitely buy new material and spend a bit more time getting your cuts perfect. But for a shop cover, this is just fine. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Very simple, very inexpensive design, and definitely gets that drill up out of the floor, or at least on the workbench, and stored up here on the tool wall.